Well, you all just saw me try to throw this thing around the Red Bull Ring as quickly as I possibly could. And it wasn't very impressive or pretty, was it? Well, no, of course it wasn't, because this is the Maserati Levante S, and, yeah, I can't get around it. It's a truck! Yes, it's an SUV, it's a sport utility vehicle. Yeah, it's a truck. And it's in Assetto Corsa. Why? Why? That is the only question I have about this damn thing. What is the purpose of putting a truck in a sim that gives us vintage race cars, open wheelers, GT, some wonderful road cars, but this? Why? Why would they want to give us something that costs six figures that only pretentious rich bastards could buy, and the only thing they do with them is take them to exclusive events so that they can say, oh look, I have more money than you. Yes. Well, let's cut to the chase. Let's drive this stupid thing. Well, it's got a V12, at very least, so it's something remotely interesting to listen to as you're steaming along here at a blistering 170 kilometers per hour. Braking super early because it weighs 4,000 pounds. Yes, turning in. Steamship body roll. You know, I've played a lot of simulator games in my time, be they car games, plane games, but this one reminds me of Ship Simulator. Yes. In particular, it reminds me of the turning circle of the Titanic. Yeah. Because that's about the comparison I can draw with this thing. Of course, you have the plainly obvious visual characteristics. The interior and exterior have been quite nicely modeled, of course, as we're used to seeing from Kunos. As has the handling, what little handling there actually is. There we go, that's a pseudo drift. And a pseudo spin, only because I hooked the rear axle onto the grass before I turned in. If you're trying to drift on purpose, well, no. It's not going to happen. Not in this thing. It's so heavy, and the weight is so biased to the front that the only thing it does is understeer. Like that. Or like that. Have a look. And I've got so much ground clearance that I don't care about the curbs and the rumble strips and all of that corner cutting deterrent nonsense, because I think you could probably park a Formula 1 car underneath this thing. That's how high off the ground we are. Nope. Not gonna drift it. It's too heavy. Now, the analytical-minded me is asking a question, yes, why? But I have a hypothesis. Is this AC saying, oh look, we just signed this licensing deal with Maserati, so clearly we want to put a good Maserati product in this game. Now, they gave us the 250F. Brilliant little car. Does exactly what you expect it to do. It's the stuff of Fangio and Farina. Of course you would want to drive the 250F, particularly in a game that prides itself on being a racing simulator, yada yada. But let's think of the other Maseratis we could have included here. The Quattroporte? Maybe. I mean, it's a sedan or a 2+2, whatever you want to call it, but it's got 4 doors, so it's a sedan in my opinion. How about the MC12? Let's see, the Enzo-derived hypercar that they gave us the early part of the 2000s. That might have been a reasonable addition. The Enzo itself also might have been a reasonable addition. I mean, apparently you've extended that Ferrari licensing deal. How come you didn't give us the Enzo? That would have been cool. But no, to showcase the latest and greatest of Maserati, they have given us a truck. It's rendered me speechless. Speechless and disgusted. It's boring. Everything about it is boring. It's got a V12 engine, and externally it sounds really good. But in here, and I'm sure being faithful to recreating all the sound deadening things that Maserati must have put in this thing so the aristocratic clientele can have a very important business discussion with their assorted mistresses over their Bluetooth headsets. So you can't hear that engine very nicely from inside. Like I said, the body roll is reminiscent of the transatlantic liner from the early 20th century. The acceleration is actually, I think the RMS Olympic would probably beat it in a drag race. But whatever. My hypothesis, getting back to that, on that long tangent about turn-of-the-century transportation. Hypothesis is, they cinched up this deal with Maserati. They gave us the 250F. They've given us this wretched thing. And are they setting the stage, given their license with Porsche that they just signed, are they setting the stage for some sort of SUV showdown in either the console version or in a later DLC where they give us the Cayenne or Cayenne Turbo? Quite possibly. I don't know, but quite possibly. What would be the appeal, though, of sending two 4,000-pound behemoths head-to-head around a racetrack? I don't know. Are they setting the stage for some new tracks? I mean, we've got Barcelona, Monza, Mugello, the Red Bull Ring, all of these wonderful world-class racing facilities. You know, where you want to stretch the legs of your hypercar or your Formula car, whatever. And then they give you this? Are they setting the stage for some better tracks, more suited to something like this? Like, I don't know. Interstate 95? The Garden State Parkway? US 1? I don't know. Are they going to be launching some sort of a real-world element of this, where you sit in rush hour traffic for 2 hours? I don't know, but I see no practical applications in this sim, as it currently is, for this abomination of a vehicle. None. Absolutely none. That's not to say that they haven't done a good job with it. The handling is convincing enough for a truck. I mean, it certainly lets you know that you're not driving anything worth your time. Hooked it into the grass again. Did that on purpose, but with a little bit too much speed. Hey, the gravel trap. It's off-roading! It's four-wheel drive. How does it go in the gravel, considering that's probably what this thing is really meant to do? It's slow. Yes, it is. Let's find some tarmac. There we go. It's slow, and it's heavy, and it's awful. And the understeer is atrocious. Holy crap. Yeah. Take that for some punishment. And the really disgusting part about it is it's got a V12. It's basically the same engine as you'll probably find in La Ferrari or something like that. Certainly an Enzo. I have no words. No words. Just infinite amounts of disdain. Whoa, a power slide. It can do that? Oof. Only if lucky. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. It's an SUV. It's an SUV in Assetto Corsa. Why? And in true SUV fashion, we're running out of fuel. Great. Absolutely great. I have only one statement to make about the whole rationale of putting this thing in this game, and instead of saying it, I'm just going to act it out. And for licensing reasons, they can't even give us a decent damage model for this, so we have just some surface scratches and some broken glass. Wonderful, the crumple zone isn't even touched. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Do me a favor and consign this video and this hideous beast to the lowest level of hell.